Hey, what's up guys, Andy here, and today we're going to be reviewing over Demon Slayer, the anime, and oh gosh, at first I didn't really want to watch this because all the pictures I had seen, I mean the art looked good, but I was like, the girl kind of throws it off. I thought this was going to be some kind of weird harem anime, but it's the exact opposite. In fact, if it was a harem, it'd be awkward because his sister is pretty much, well, no spoilers yet anyway. We'll get into those in the video, but there are spoilers in this video, but yeah, it would just be awkward if that was the case. But, no, this was actually really good from what I did see from it, and I really did enjoy it. And all these pictures were on my Instagram if you want to go follow that out. As you can clearly see, it's at The Last Exorcist. It mean a lot to me. Check me out there. You can message me there. I like, talking with people. But, overall, this anime, so far, I'm 2 episodes in, as you'll see in the review here. I'm enjoying it. It's kind of weirdly paced, though. Like, the first episode was amazing. I loved it. The second episode was kind of like everything was being rushed, in my opinion. I don't know if that makes sense, but you'll hear it all in my review. But for now, though, gang, I do want to say I'm not going to review over 3, 4, and 5. I just wanted to review over these. I'm going to watch 3, 4, and 5, and then probably do my first full-on live review of episode 6. So, yeah, I mean, without further delay, gang, let's go ahead and jump right into this video.
They say you don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here. And no, I don't wanna be alone in the world out there.
Alright, guys, so here goes episode 1. I am in love with this already. So, episode 1 is titled Cruelty. Now, this is Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, and I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, someone let me know, but it takes place in the Taisho Period, and it's about this boy named Tanjiro, who's kind of living a normal life until his family gets, we'll talk about it. So, we start off here with a boy and a girl trudging through the snow, and they're hurt bad. They both, this scar on his head, I thought it was from this, but apparently it wasn't. But, we cut it back in time a little bit, after this scene here, to where, he tells her, I swear, your big brother will save you no matter what. And we find out her name is Nezuko, and she is his younger sister, obviously. But we cut back to the past a little bit, and this is Tanjiro, and he's probably our main character from what I could tell. In his character, oh my god, I love his look. His appearance is on point. But, it turns out, he loves his family a lot, and he has younger siblings, Shigeru, Hanako, Takio, Rakuda, and Nezuko. And he's heading into town to sell coal, that way they have a good New Year's dinner. And apparently his sense of smell is really high, because when he gets into town, he's greeted by everyone, and everyone loves him because he's a good kid. And some guy broke a pot, or they thought he did, but he's like, I smell a cat. She's like, oh, so it was a cat. But as he's heading home after he sells all the coal, he runs into this dude he calls his granddad. And he tells him, he's like, you get in here and you sleep here tonight, and then you go home in the morning before the demons show up. And he tells him, he's like, hey, Granddad Saburo, what's demons like? What are they, just curious about it. And I loved this so much because it's so beautiful. This anime is beautiful. But he tells him, he's like, they're monsters. They'll kill anything. And he's like, well, can they come in the house? He's like, yeah, they can come in the house. That's why the demon hunters protect us by slaying them. So you kind of see where this story's going. So he heads home, and as he's heading home, he gets the whole smell of blood thing again. It goes like this. Whenever happiness is destroyed, there's always the smell of blood. And there was the smell of blood. His whole family was slaughtered. He comes up and he sees Nezuko and the baby Rakuda lying on the ground, and then he opens the door and he sees the rest of it. So we cut back to where we were in the story, and he is running. He's just running as fast as he can to get to the town and maybe find a doctor for her, because she's the only one who's still warm. And that's when she starts going fucking crazy and flips out and She ends up like jerking his back, and they fall off of the side of a little cliff into the snow. And he gets up, he's like, "Where are you?" And, you know, she jumps on him and she's trying to kill him. He's like, "You're a demon." And I was like, oh shit, you know, this is going down. She appeared to be possessed. And he's fucked up for life, I guarantee, from this scene. But he tells her, he's like, "You have to stay strong." And then she starts to cry. And this scene right here in particular is so beautiful. I love it so much. But we move into the next kind of portion of the scene to where we get a badass who I assume is a demon slayer or hunter, whatever they call it. Because he just has that prowess, and he appears to be able to control like mist or speed or something. I couldn't tell really. But they turn to this really cool badass side shot here. And he says, you know, no matter what, it's needless to say here, I'm gonna decapitate your sister. And, you know, he saved her by a hair the first time because he rolled her over, but that's all he could do in that situation. So he tells him, he's like, "My job's to slay demons, buddy, so that's what I'm here to do." And he tells him, you know, "You're weak, dude." He starts roasting his ass, and it's bad. Tanjiro tells him, he's like, I'll heal her. I'll find a way to heal her. And that's when he just goes all, like, you see, like, there's something more to this character that we're definitely going to get later on in the series, I hope, anyway. But he tells him, he's like, "You don't stand a chance. You are so bad. Literally, you could have swung your axe at me. You could have did anything to save her from me right now. But I captured her with ease." You know, and all these, like, little things that you just done are the reason that led to your sister getting captured. You're a failure, pretty much. Like, he was going off, and he looked pissed. So, we cut to him, and, you know, Tanjiro gets up, and he starts rushing him, and he goes, "A straightforward attack driven by emotion. You're a fool." And so he slams him down once Tanjiro runs at him. But he didn't notice when Tanjiro threw a rock, he also threw the axe up in the air, and it almost cut the dude's head off. And he says here, you know, he knew he couldn't win this fight, so he was gonna make me think to let my guard down that I got him, and then get me with the axe. That way, you know, he could save his sister, which was a really cool one. But, you know, he tells him, you know, demons will devour anything, you know, they'll kill anyone. When they're hungry, they go into this mode to where they're just, you know, they lose control. But then he's like, maybe she's different from others, because as soon as she got free from him, she went to protect him. So she lunges at the dude, and he puts his sword up, and he's like, different from others. And that's when he just chops her in the neck, and he tells him, he's like, "Go see an old man named Sakanji Urakadaki." I don't know. Basically, he lives at the end of Mount Sagiri. I don't know. And he tells him, you know, no sunlight for her. Keep her out of the sunlight. And tell her Jaya Tomioka sent you. I think that's his name. I'm just going to call him Gaia or Jaya. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below. But that is the end of episode 1, Cruelty. Holy shit. I fell in love with this series the moment I seen the main character. The animation, the artwork, everything is just so nice. And by the way, these are live reactions, guys. I'm literally watching the episode and then doing the review and then going back and doing the review. So, I'm so hyped for episode 1. I cannot wait to see what episode 2 has. Oh my god, it's going to be amazing. But yeah, without further delay, gang, let's go ahead and jump right into episode 2. Alright, so episode 2, it kind of slowed everything down a little bit, but then picked some things up with the story. But this episode was called Trainer Sakanji Urakadaki. I'm never going to be able to say that. And apparently I've been saying old dude's name wrong this whole time. I guess it's Giyu, or something like that. It's Giyyuu. Tell me how to say it in the comments below. In my original notes, I had Giya, so it was like Gia or Gia. I don't know. I'm not sure. But we're going to move right past that, because this episode, I really want to talk about some of the things, because these demons seem like they have some crazy abilities. that are going to make this anime even crazier, especially with the animation, the way it's going. But, yeah. The first thing I do want to talk about, though, before we get into the review here, is you can clearly see the old description of the anime here. From my notes, what I took, it's a little bit different from this, so not really, but we'll talk about everything that I took in. So yeah, let's get into this. Alright, so the first thing up here we see in before the intro is that she dug a hole just to keep that far away from sunlight, even though she was still in a cave with no light. So it must really fuck with them, and we kind of see it later on. Next thing I want to talk about, though, is this intro. I didn't really get a chance to sit down and watch it in episode 1 because I was too busy finalizing over my notes because it came at the end. I love this intro. It is amazing. The first thing we see here, though, is he asked her, can you, like, revert your size to be smaller instead of bigger? Like, you know, in the last episode, she got bigger when she was fighting him. But, you know, it's whatever there because she just kind of hops in and it's not really projected if she changed her size. I mean, I would assume she had to have, but they never really specify that. So he hand weaves this basket and everything for her to walk or to go with him during the day in, and they're walking at night and they come across this shrine and he says, I smell blood, which I guess his nose is going to be a huge part of this anime and the whole blood thing, smelling the blood. And they walk in and this dude's all like, you up on my turf, I'm gonna make you pay. And he was not happy, dog. He broke into this temple and slaughtered everyone. He was eating them whole, dude. And you interrupted his meal and he lunged at Tanjiro and Taijiro. I'm not sure. These names are gonna be new to me for a minute. But he hits him in the face with his hatchet, like in the neck, and he's like, you fucking what, mate? And he grabs him, and that's when she fucking kicks his head off. Yeah, apparently she's super strong. Like, I mean, super strong. She literally one-shotted this dude's head off. But that wasn't the end of the fight, because apparently this head can grow arms. The body was still moving on its own as well, so these demons have some fucked up power. Alright, I don't know if it was just, like, him being a specific type of demon, but if all of them can do that, they might be fucked. And then we get to this scene to where after they pretty much killed his body, he's like, you know, you gotta kill it. And he's like, do it, just do it. I can't. He can't do it. He can't bring himself to kill him because he still feels empathy for him. And the old man's coming up to him as he's trying to put this butcher knife to him, and he goes, you can't finish him off with that. And so he has to get a rock and smash this thing's head in. But he's too kind and he can't make decisions quick. That's where this whole thing starts to kind of blossom to where maybe he's not cut out for this. So they're gonna kind of, you know, play into that more, I feel like. But the sun comes out before he can kill him, and this thing explodes, like erupts in light and fire, and like it looks like his skin just melted off. So really gruesome, but really cool. I enjoyed it. We find out that the old man in the Tengu mask, I think, if One Piece serves me right, he is actually Sakanji Arakadaki. Okay, I'm never gonna get it right. Do not at me. But we move on here, and he slaps the shit out of Taijiro here, and he pretty much says, what will you do when your sister devours a human? You'll kill her, and then you'll slit your own stomach because it's your fault. And he says, I'm gonna test you to see if you're fit to become a member of the Demon Slayer Corps. And they really move this along fast, which is something I'm not a huge fan of, but this is probably only going to get 12 episodes. I hope it gets 24, but we'll see. But they go up to the mountainside, and, you know, he has 24 hours to get, well, not 24 hours, till daybreak to get back to the hut where they're staying. And all these booby traps are set up and everything, and he's like, there's no way I'm going to be able to make it by morning. Even if I had this resolve, I'm still not athletic enough to jump around them all. But he does end up making it, but he still gets the shit beat out of him. So right before he makes it, though, like, as he makes it, they cut to this scene to where, Giyu, you know what I mean, was telling him, you know, I don't think that the girl will attack humans. Will you train him? I know this is a one-sided request, but can you please do it? And so he comes in and he's all tore up. He got the shit beat out of him. So he tells him, you know, alright, I accept you as my student. So that's the end of this episode, and I'm not sure where it's gonna go from here, what he's gonna teach him, if he's gonna get a sword right away or what, but all I know is they really pushed this episode along, and the outro is beautiful. Final thoughts about this episode, I'm indifferent about it. Depending on the way the story progresses, I will either love this episode or think it was just a standard episode. I don't hate this episode nonetheless, but the way they set some of this stuff up where he can't kill him, and then like we get all this information about what the demons can do, and the fact that, you know, this old man is his teacher now, the way that plays out will determine whether I really like this episode or not, to an extent. But overall, animation's still great, artwork is still beautiful, and it's kind of being pushed, but I enjoyed it. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on. So as you can tell from the last thing that I just showed, I was intentionally going to move on with episode 3, 4, and 5 in this video, but I decided it was going to be way too long, and there's no point in reviewing all the episodes when I'm just going to be reviewing 6 later on, plus I wouldn't have any time to get this video out before then. But yeah, I decided to just do 1 and 2 because I feel like those are kind of the biggest crucial episodes in a series besides like the climax and the ending. So for right now, I thought I'd just do these 2 and watch the other 3 episodes on my own time and then review episode 6. So yeah, I hope y'all did enjoy, and if you did like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all Saturday with episode 6. Can't wait for it. Peace out.